Cool, mic check. 1 second. All right, looks good. Looks good. Turn it down just a little bit. Cool, good day, man. Just finished up some breakfast. Charts look pretty solid. So here's what I'm looking at, right? We see price pretty much pushes back up into this same resistance level, and price is pretty much at a wall here, right? Downtrend, 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 pushes back in this fake uptrend where price fails to pull back at all, hits the same resistance, and then goes lower again. This looks pretty bearish if you ask me on the higher time frame, right? So now understanding that it looks like we're actually trending lower, we just had this relief here. Where would price likely pull back to? Which support is available right now? So we have this support that price is at right here. We can mark this off. Currently, this support is like the last support remaining before price would maybe find some support down in here. But I would say price is likely to do something like this, right? Right, that's what it's looking like on the higher time frame. Not 100% as always, but that's what I would expect. And now I'm noticing, all right, where could price find some support here? You'll notice that we have this level right here, which was a short-term bottom, push up. Price pushes right back into this area, finds some resistance, could end up going lower. If price can break this resistance, right, then I see that this candle has no wick on it, and maybe price wants to fill this in before continuing back lower, you know? So what I'm thinking, like, all right, cool. How did this 4-hour candle shape up here after we push back into this level? You see that we got a beautiful rejection candle. So now we have this area of interest here where if price wants to respect the lower end of this 4-hour candle, if price wants to respect this bullish area, price could push back up into here before going lower. Or if price is very, very bearish, we'll see price get through this previous 4-hour candle low, previous weekly open, well, not previous weekly open, current weekly open, retest it, and continue lower. So that's my pretty much profile from the 4-hour chart. I want to see something bearish take place. Either we're going to end up short right away. Like I said, we break this weekly open, strong close underneath this previous 4-hour candle, retest it and go lower. Or we just push higher here to retest this area to potentially go lower. If price does push higher and we fail to hold this level of resistance and we get back above it, then I would say, all right, price is climbing back up, potentially to take this high here, which is very, very obvious that it could be revisited. There's no retest of this area, and there's no retest of the candle above it either. So these two levels right here could easily be the draw for the next couple of days, where we see price trade higher on like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday continue the sell-off. Right? We've seen that profile a few times actually. Monday bullish, Tuesday bullish, Wednesday bullish, and then what? Thursday sell-off, Friday sell-off, right? So keeping in mind that just because we're bearish doesn't mean that it has to go bearish today. Today could be the manipulation, tomorrow could be manipulation higher, and then, so on and so forth. So those are the three profiles. There's really no in between unless price starts consolidating within this 4-hour range. But as you can see here, what's happening is very, very bullish already. Market opens, No wick at the top of this candle, slams lower or crashing right back into bullish territory, taking out overnight liquidity, right? So if you see price start trying to flip back bullish here, it's going to be an obvious buying scenario. Now that we understand that the power of three is starting off with this manipulation lower, I believe ES looks pretty similar. Let's take a look. Yeah, ES very similar. Same support levels. You see price very, very bullish in this area, so we can't really get too bearish until we start getting up under these lows here. Then that'll be like, all right, yeah, price is gonna push probably down to this low here. But right now it's super early, and I like how price is pretending to be very, very bearish here. This is usually a red flag. Price shouldn't take off straight to the lows like this if it's bearish. All right, so I want to know, yeah, this is nice. We're pushing. Notice how this 4-hour low was never revisited. This is Asia's wick, 4-hour wick. So price can push into here and still be bullish. Crypto, just take a look. I'm not going to be too big on crypto this week. We know crypto's bearish at this point. We've seen too many failed attempts to go higher, right? After this massive sell-off, price is just still very weak. So we know crypto's bearish, and if crypto can be bearish, then I think we're going to see that bearishness on the NASDAQ. Really nice here. Revisiting this area here. Asia 4-hour wick. I'll mark off this Asia low, of course. Price could sweep that out. And then we'll see. I like this rejection here though. This could be the high for today. Jams right into this base. ES not so bearish, right? ES gets above this base, pushes a little bit higher, pulls back. So that could be the sign right there. ES is showing you that it was able to get past this base here. So that's telling me that, yeah, we'll probably end up going bullish today. ES was a little stronger. Higher time frame, ES is stronger. Let's see if we take out this Asia low before going higher. So I'm going to give price, as always, right? I'm going to give price 30 minutes here to finish this drive lower at 10:30. I'll be ready to start looking and zooming down to see if price is starting to show some sort of reversal. Really nice, right? You see how 6 a.m. 4-hour candle offers this push and then changing the state on the 30-minute. Probably looks even better on the hourly 15-minute. Nice change in the state up here that should be revisited ideally, right? You would think because this happened so early, price should push back into here to tell you to short or push back and then absorb the shorts to go higher. If we fail to get back up here, that just shows you how weak the market is out the gate. And we could start off the week very bearish. Keep in mind, so that if you were on stream last week, let's pull it up. The Japanese yen carry trade. They're going to announce their interest rates on December 18th. So this will be what we're expecting here. Once they announce their interest rate, if they are going to rise and raise their rate, that's going to have a major effect on our market. So that'll be interesting to see. And wow, price is really bleeding, bro. That's crazy. What happened at the open? No sweep, no nothing. Just pure downside. Yeah, this looks like a scam, right? You guys already know by now, anytime the market just bleeds one direction inside of a manipulation window, right? We know the first hour or so of a 4 hour candle typically involves manipulation. So this is almost like the most obvious manipulation you can see here. But speaking on the Japan interest rates, December 18th, 2200, that's like 6 p.m., right? Yeah. So as you can see, their interest rate has been steady all year since April, probably further on. I don't think they've raised their rates since yeah, last year, December 18th, 2024. All right, so when this starts to rise, typically there's some sort of effect in the market, right? So if we go back here, let me highlight this. Let's go back and look at the last time they raised rates so we can get a better idea of what the market did in response to that. All right, so here we are. We see that the last time they raised rates was July 30th, and it was a nice hike from 10%, 0.10 to 0.25, and that was July 30th, 2024. So if we go to July 30th, 2024, let's check the hourly chart. Start new. July 30th, 2024. That was a Tuesday, Wednesday. So let's just go to Wednesday, the day after, right? New York session, 10 a.m. All right, so here we go. The 30th, we saw a decent crash on that exact day. New York session sold off. You get a nice recovery, and I'm interested to see how the rest of this month went. And there goes the downside, more downside, more downside. There goes your sell off immediately, right? So it was the 30th, the rate drop, you got a nice sell off. Then you got this fake recovery. Then you got the real sell off, and price was stuck underneath. Let's see, the 30th was here. So price was stuck underneath that 30th high all the way until this is August 14th. We're still underneath it. All right, you start to see a recovery on the 15th of August. So for like, I would say since the 30th, like 2 weeks, three weeks maybe, you saw price take a hit before it started to make a recovery. So for the next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll probably see that bearish trend take over. And then you see here price recovered just fine back at like a month later. Price was back at new highs, looking pretty decent. Let's see if this holds or will it crash again. Looks pretty steady. So for the next 3 weeks, we probably should expect some sort of downtrend. And now price is going right back bearish. Takes out this high here. But overall, like I said, the most pressure came like within the first 2 or 3 weeks after that Japan interest rate was raised. And then if we go and we look again, we saw that they raised rates again on January 23rd, 2025. So let's go look at January, and then that should give us a January 23rd. So let's just go to that Monday. So January 23rd was here. You got some accumulation, Friday accumulation, and then the market gaps down on Monday. And this is probably where that sell pressure is going to pick up. Got some nice selling pressure right away on the market open. Gap down again. Nice accumulation, right? It's not really too bearish, but it's definitely not bullish either. We keep accumulating, and then finally, similar to the last time, right? By the third week, 23rd, now we're at February 18th. About 3 weeks later, the market finds its balance, and it seems like it's going to make a decent recovery until it doesn't. Now it's right back. As you can see, right? That news comes out, the market is just not, it's not bullish for a while. And this one actually seems to, yeah, it starts to hit a little bit harder here. That downtrend started to really pick up like 3 weeks after. So I'm going to keep that on my mind, bro. I'm more bearish than bullish. We've been bullish all year, right? So there has to be room for these shorts. And we started to sell off here, right? We see this nice sell pressure coming in November. Beautiful. And then December, we see price start pushing back up. End of November, December, we see price start to recover, but we still haven't really broken any bearish resistance. We just retested these highs, and they're holding up like a champion. So I'm gonna lock in on that bearish higher time frame narrative, and that should make it easier for us to catch these shorts. But yeah, that's my spiel, man. This should be a very, very clean season for downside. We're getting that Christmas, that Christmas rally right now. The reason why I think we're gonna be bullish, or at least not too bearish, right? We don't have to be strong bullish. We just need to be not bearish. Maybe accumulate a little bit. Is because we have 3 days until they supposedly hike the interest rate. If they raise that interest rate, we've seen what's going to happen to the market. So we'll be ready for that. But right now, because there's only 3 days left, I doubt that the market will start selling off now, right? But we'll see. I think it's more likely that price accumulates, or maybe even goes a little bit higher before we get that massive sell pressure. But yep, all my levels are set. We're taking out Asia low. Let's check across ES. So we're getting this Asia low taken out, but we have not swept out this previous weekly low. All right. We'll see if Friday's low is taken out on ES. I don't think it will be. We have 6 minutes left in this 30-minute candle. If we can get this divergence off of these lows, that will open the door for, wow. Yeah. I hate when it does stuff like this because it's like, all right, bro. This could be one of those days where it just bleeds all day. It's way, way too aggressive here, but we'll see how this next 30-minute candle responds to being underneath this previous weekly low. We'll go from there. Hopefully we get a clean divergence, like something like this, that can send price back at least into this weekly open, a clean buy back into the weekly open, something of that nature, or a nice strong rally back to retest up here. Like I really don't want to believe price is just gonna go straight down for the rest of the day. Let's check on the daily real quick. Okay, so we have this daily imbalance here. I'm gonna mark this off. Liquidity daily. Sweep this daily low here. Push into this imbalance that was never filled. Then you have this daily wick here that was never filled. Yeah, very bullish territory right now. And we're just like free falling right into it, which is a very bullish profile. Let me switch up my All right, cool. Nice. So yeah, very very clean divergence happening right here. We sweep into this daily area of interest, so I can erase everything in between. Pretty clear that we're in bullish territory. And then we have this daily imbalance here. We're sweeping out these potential lows. Maybe we get a SMT, we'll see. But this low gets my attention for ES. And like I said, we have this previous weekly level. There's a lot down in here that could end up sending price higher. But as of right now, whoever took these shorts out the gate are like excited. Yeah, yeah, bro. We'll see. Like I think we're gonna get a clean pump higher, just because this is basically the Judas. This is the 930 Judas right here. Push down, immediately sweep out London low, Asia low, previous day low, daily candle, fair value gap being filled. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do now is just sit back and look for some sort of strong move back to the upside. And you'll notice that there is liquidity up above from Friday's London high and Asia high. And there's a unmitigated gap up here. Right. So you can see, all right, yeah, yeah. The bearish, you can see the bearish profile is like, all right, yeah, this is clearly bearish. But we left a lot of buy side liquidity that will be revisited, if you ask me. If we don't, let's say we just sell off for the next 3 weeks and it just keeps going bearish without taking those highs, then once price finally goes back bullish, you're going to see a rally. We're going to go straight back to all-time highs. Watch. Whenever the sell pressure runs out. Boom. Nice. So 1 minute left here. Did we get this divergence? Looks like we are going to get a slight divergence here off of these lows. Cool. So the first thing I'm going to be interested in is, can price get back within this Asia range? That's going to be the first thing that lets me know that price is probably going back bullish. We got divergence at this low. And then when I look at all of my 4 hour levels, this 10 p.m., 2 p.m., everything's in the middle here. So that's going to be a magnet for price as well. So I'm wondering, all right, can we get back above Asia low? You don't want to see price get stuck underneath here. That's a sign that we're probably going to just keep going lower. All right, so if we can get back above Asia, show some strength, break some structure, retest, show some good strength, then I know we should at least push into this weekly open, and then if we can break weekly open, we'll push back into this area. If we can break this area, we'll push back into 6 a.m. and 9:30 highs for sure. So yeah, I'm gonna start looking for price to trade back into here, yo. I just don't see why price would free fall at 9:30, open up at 10 a.m., continue lower. We have a beautiful profile here for a buy shaping up. 10 a.m. sweep. Notice there's no SMT above 10 a.m. either. Yeah, we're chilling. The only SMT we're seeing right now is at the lows. So I'll mark off this low as my divergence low. And there goes some speed right now. Let's see if we can make a play here. Really nice. Cool. Directly to this Asia low here. And I would love to see if we can just flip above here. Show some strength above Asia. That'll be the first time price is about to start trending back higher. Excuse me. Really good speed right back to that area of interest. Let's see. ES has already reclaimed Asia. All right, nice strong closure back above Asia. Next thing in the way is this EMA. Really clean. You can already tell. Just need to see some strength, some comfort above Asia. Then you'll start to see price build structure to go higher. Interacting with this previous weekly level here, previous monthly level. Okay, yeah, sorry, previous weekly right here Friday's low. Getting some rejection from there right now. So keeping in mind that ES did not trade back to that previous daily level. What was that? All right, yeah. So we got this which indicator is what, bro? Hold on. What is which one, bro? Uh yeah, which indicator? I don't know which indicator. But I don't have many indicators. I just have my ICT kill zones and pivots and then my sessions indicator, which don't need the sessions on right now. But yeah, you see how ES was able to get above this Asia low. Then if I look at the daily, remember that daily low was never taken out. So either price is about to continue towards this low, or price is going to avoid this low. So I'm going to keep that in mind here. If ES gets very comfortable above this Asia level here, then that's telling me that this low right here should be protected. If ES drops back below here and starts showing like it wants lower, you look for shorts back to this low, and then maybe even this low here to fill in some liquidity that could be wanting to be swept here. So far though, I like what I'm seeing. It's still pretty early though, so we just give it some time here. Definitely drive into this area here. This will be my next area of interest. If we can break above here, maybe get a retest, I'll look for a scalp into this. And then it's the same game all the way through. If we can break that, I'm looking at this. And if we can break this, I'm looking at this. Right now, we're stabbing into this first area of interest. I want to see some sort of retest lower. All right, yeah. So we should see a pullback here because we have an unmitigated 15-minute gap. We should see some selling pressure to make price pull back. So let's wait on that. Guaranteed we should see some sort of pullback. Whether it happens now or it happens at this next level here, you're going to see a pullback. That's almost guaranteed right now. So I'll wait on that. So we're showing a lot of strength here. I'm going to get ready to try this just based on the concept of ES right now. We got this sweep at the low, SMT, beautiful. We flip Asia. That was the first sign of bullishness. If we don't want to retest Asia down in here, we see ES retest this weekly open and show a really good move above weekly open. So if I can see some strength here on NASDAQ, I think I want to try NASDAQ with this break here. Let's see if we can break. I'm looking at it for about a 60-point stop, which would be 4 micros for 500, but I will go double that. I'll go 8 for $1,000 trade here. The buys are very obvious. So what I'm waiting for now is, all right, can we actually continue to show strength above this weekly open here? Just being patient. We have, what is it, 10:50? We have a few minutes left until 11 a.m. So I'll just be patient here, right? But this weekly open is starting to convince me that, okay, this is where price could go higher. Instead of retesting Asia on NQ here, We have this order block right here. We have the EMA now. And just looking at ES looks like the leader. I should probably buy ES, but I don't think it makes a difference today which one you buy because they both sold off very aggressively and they're both at a very good discount right now. But this movement here is pretty cool for me. I just want to see if we can continue to hold for the next few minutes. If so, then I'll probably look to buy the NASDAQ. Let's see here. Let's see here. Looks pretty good, bro. And I'm willing to buy it here, understanding that let's say I get stopped out. Let's say I buy it and then it drops all the way back to the Asia low or something weird. You know, I'm looking for maybe this gap to be filled. That would be perfect. A nice gap fill here with a nice rejection before I get in. Well, let's say I get in. Where will my stop be? Let's find some swing points in here. Let's say I bought it up here and I put my stop like right beneath that 1 minute gap. Let's say I get stopped, right? I know what I'm looking for. So as long as price continues to maintain what I'm looking for, I'll give price a second chance later on to go higher, right? But here goes that pullback we knew would happen. So everything's starting to look perfect, yo. We knew that price was going to reject. How do we know? Because price was tapping into an unmitigated bearish gap. You're going to see rejection more times than not. Now you want to see that rejection get absorbed. Here we go. Nice. Retesting. This is beautiful now. This is officially textbook. If we can hold these levels, I'm going to start looking for buys. Beautiful. 15-minute gap filled. So that means the next target would be the next 15-minute gap at the least this high right here, which aligns perfectly with these price points. Same thing over here for ES. Price should fill in that gap, take that high. Boom, boom, boom. 5-minute chart. Let's see what happens here. Beautiful, beautiful ROC reversal at the low, right? You see how we have this bearish gap. Price drives into it, absorbs the sellers, gives you that rejection. Because this was unmitigated, you're going to get some sort of rejection. But instead of making a new low, what happens? Price expands higher. And this is what I'm looking for right now. Again, we filled in that 15-minute gap right here. Now I just want to see price fail to go lower and then go higher. And that's going to be my continuation profile. And I'll look to buy that. I look to buy that every time, my friends. It looks very clean, actually. 5-minute candle, nice wick rejection. I'll see if price can start to get back above this EMA here. I'll start looking for my trade. Don't really need to see ES at this point. I've seen enough. I'm looking at these levels here. Specifically, these swing lows right here. If we do get down in these areas, I want to see these areas hold up. You know, a sweep of these lows, that's fine. I just don't want to see price closing too bearish underneath here, or that'll kill the idea for me. Really, I don't even want to see it get down here because that'll show us that it has speed and that price is truly trending higher, right? Yeah. And then now look, if you pay attention, we have a beautiful setup here. And then when I look at the clock, we have 4 minutes until a new 30-minute candle will be printed. All right. So with that being said, we'll probably see the move happen in the next 5 or 10 minutes. Once a new 30-minute candle is open, you can start looking for the trade back up to these highs here. 60, 70 point move. Get in with like a 70 point stop, 65 maybe even 60. I'm not bearish at all, right? So I'm not trying to have too big of a stop loss. 60 points may be the biggest I'll go for a setup like this. As long as I'm underneath that Asia level and I'm underneath the EMA. And then right now we should get another swing point, right? So you see how these levels seem to be protected right now. Once price starts to turn again, we should have another protected low. And I would look to put my stop below this low. 60 points looks pretty good. And that'll be the game plan. 60 points, 400. I'm sorry, 4 contracts is 500. And 8 contracts is 1,000. I reset my Top Step account, so it's gonna be $1,000 trades here on out for this Top Step challenge until we can pass it. Notice how price is stalling here, right? Notice how the clock is just wasting time, right? That's a signature that you want to see right now. I don't want to see price leech lower while we wait. I want to see price respect the levels that we have drawn while we wait on this setup. And then I want to see the next 30-minute candle open and then do something like this where you see how this candle has a wick. I want to see the next 30-minute candle drive down into this area, show rejection, get back above it, and then start to climb. That way we'll have our 30-minute profile where we understand that 30-minute candles have to open one way and then close the other way. So let me get rid of this one. Let me get rid of this one here. So this is the game plan going forward. It's officially 40 seconds until this next 30-minute candle. If we can get a clean retest of Asia and then start flipping above this EMA, I'm going to try this buy. My ideal entry price would probably be somewhere around 165, 25,165 with a 60-point stop. That would be pretty clean. And then you're just looking for a 70-point move to the upside. Quick scalp. And that'll be it, you know? Very, very, very basic, very textbook. Here we go now. We're going to get this drive lower. Let's get a decent drive lower, please. Please don't. I would hate to see it try to take off first because that kind of throws me off. I want that algo to go back and retest the same level here. Maybe even sweep out this low, right? Just show you that it wanted lower first and then try to flip bullish. I'll get in on that flip. Let's check the lower time frame, see if there's anything in here. We still have this bearish gap holding up. So this right here would be really nice to see break. All right, you see this bearish gap, 1 minute bearish gap, holding price down right now. And we can get above there. That's going to be the first sign that price is ready to go higher. So I really don't want to trade until we start flipping these bearish structures. And I love how we just tapped into this 1 minute gap up above. All right, so you see that all these bearish points of interest have been filled. And if price fails to go lower, then that's telling me to ignore these bearish gaps, buy through those gaps, and aim for some sort of high. And notice again, we have this 5 minute bearish gap, unmitigated. We finally fill it in now. So you're going to see some sort of sell pressure out of it. And here goes that selling pressure. You want to see price sell down to support, absorb the sellers. Beautiful. This is beautiful. If we get the reaction we want to see off of this level now, I will look for an entry. All right, nice. So I'm keeping my eyes on this. I want to see if we can get a strong closure through this area of interest. If so, then that should open the floodgates for higher. Not a bad, not a bad move. Oh no, don't take off like this, yo. Pull back. So ES hadn't filled this gap yet. That looks like a strength. Yeah, that looks like a scam. So like, you see how I like to compare side by side? I want to see exactly what's going on. So notice we filled in this gap right here once at 11 a.m. But then you'll notice that ES had not filled that gap yet. So what just happened right now? Now you get that gap fill. Now you're getting that sell pressure. Now you have to absorb these sellers before you even think about buying this. All right. And that's what is going to happen. I want to say that should be your absorption. Let's wait for ES to start. Yeah. I think I got to try this here. I can get a good fill right now at 68, 65. Yeah, I'm gonna try this here, anticipating ES to flip this gap right now. All right. And like I said, I understand I have 2 attempts at this buy. We waited patiently through the manipulation lower. And if you're not in yet, I would say wait. Let's see here. I'm anticipating, there it goes. NASDAQ breaks this gap. Yeah, I'm anticipating some speed now. I'm anticipating some speed now, guys. So as you can see, right, I wanted to buy this anticipating that ES would close through this gap at the same time as NASDAQ. We filled in that upper gap, gave that rejection, and then now I'm looking for that speed higher. Nice entry. I want to see, can we, let me put an alert here because I need to see ES get back above weekly open. We could see some rejection here for no reason because the weekly open is pretty strong. Let's see if we can get some speed through this high. Don't want to see price get too bearish off of this weekly open. And then you have this internal high right here, which could serve as, you know, a break-even checkpoint or something of that nature. But let's see here what we got. This bearish gap, price starting to get through it. We just want to see some speed here. We got the 5-minute EMA back underneath this. Yeah, we just want to see some speed here now. So I'll watch ES on my other chart, and then I'll just leave this one here for the stream so we can keep an eye on it. All right, so I'm watching ES here for this 10 a.m. interaction, and once ES starts to hit 10 a.m., then I'll probably start managing this trade. Yeah, all right. So we just hit 10 a.m. on ES. I'm looking for a random pop here. Actually, I'm gonna take this. There goes. Yeah, I'm gonna take this. Let's see if we can TP out, or should I take it? 1 second. Cool. There goes TP, and all my alerts are going off. This is beautiful. This is the type of volume we want to see. That was perfect, yo. Perfect. All right, yeah, and that's it. 11:18. We're done for today. I think it keeps going higher, right? But once you start taking out, oh, look at ES go. Yeah, it's gonna keep going. So we have a few levels up here, but as you probably can hear, my son's upset. So I'm gonna screenshot this, drop it in the chat, and that was about 70 points right there. And there you go. So the first trade of the week is gonna be about 70 points there. All right, cool. So really strong move past the weekly open, past 10 a.m. This level right here could be a problem. So I think TP was at the proper area here. Don't want to get too greedy, especially on a Monday. So yeah, I'll take that. Doubled up the risk. So that's a clean trade right there. I'm gonna wrap it up here. If you guys have any questions, jump in the chat. Also, if you made some money today, drop a screenshot in the chat. Also, man, drop some motivation, right? And we'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Let's look forward to some sort of a continuation of this volume. FOMC was Wednesday. Ever since Wednesday, we've caught 3 really nice trades. The volume has been exceptional. All right. Hopefully it keeps going, and I would love to see price revisit this 9:30 open. But be careful if you're gonna keep trading because we're starting to run into bearish territory again. All right. Cool. So yeah, I'll drop this in the chat, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Take care. God bless.